Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am bringing you an anti-MLM reaction video. So of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. In addition, make sure that if you're new here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. Today, we're going to be reacting to the one and only Ray Higdon. I have known about Ray and Rank Makers for years now. I believe the Recovering Hunbot was part of Rank Makers, and I remember her making multiple different videos about Rank Makers and Ray. So I never covered it before because it was already being covered at the time. But then I was sent a video about Ray. That's when I went down the rabbit hole of the reels that he has about anti-MLMers. It's just so cringy. But the first video, I don't know if I'm only going to react to one video or multiple videos, but the first one is going to be the one that talks about how to respond to haters or anti-MLM trolls, MLM haters, whatever these MLM reps or people like Ray call people like myself. If you see me looking over here, it's because I've already watched this video before, the long video that was sent to me. So I took a bunch of notes because I didn't want to miss anything, especially because the way that he's talking, he's trying to be super professional. And there were also a few things that, first of all, there was something that was quite insulting. Second of all, calling people like myself liars, that's not okay. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to play the video. And again, if you see me looking over here, it's because I have notes. So I just want to make sure that I'm stopping it at the proper spot and everything like that.
Today we'll talk about network marketing trolls and how to handle them. So first I want to help you out if the network marketing haters in your life are friends and family members, people that actually know you. Next, I'm going to share with you how to deal with the haters if they're online people that maybe you don't know. And lastly, I want to share if you're getting network marketing hatred, what to focus on instead. So first, you may have noticed, depending on how long you've been in this game, that there has been an absolute increase in the fervor of anti-MLMers, of anti-network marketing kind of people. And I really think that it's because the reach that the average network marketer has, and quite frankly, the average person has increased. Whereas before, you would kind of have to be tuned in to hear about success stories around network marketing or whatever. With TikTok, Instagram Reels, and Facebook Reels and other methods, those stories are being propagated at a much faster rate in a much bigger way. Anytime that...
I'm going to stop it there. The first part that I wanted to go over is him talking about an increase in the anti-MLM movement, whether it be content creators or just more people speaking out about this particular subject. This could be due to the fact that over the last few years, we have gone through something that we never thought we would be going through with the pandemic. With that, we have also seen an increase in MLM reps. There was an article that came out not too long after everyone started finding out about what was going on, in addition to the FTC sending warning letters out to MLM companies regarding income claims, medical claims pertaining to that. So, and I'm not trying to get demonetized here, so that's why I'm not saying the words 100%, because sometimes my videos are fine, other times for whatever reason, the YouTube bot, like algorithm thing, whatever checks the videos, doesn't like it. So I'm going to try to be as vague as possible, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. That's something that I think may have something to do with both the rise in anti-MLM along with the rise in MLM reps. Because now there's so many different terrible tactics and fear-mongering, misinformation, all of that being thrown out into the world by these MLM reps. So a lot of us have been starting to speak out more. And because of those tactics, it has absolutely nothing to do, well, I mean, I can only speak for myself, But I don't think that it has anything to do with the reach of MLM reps, because there's always been people out there who are MLM top leaders who have always been talking about MLMs, who have always been problematic, always been having misinformation and things like that. But I do think that it has to do with the fact that there's been just so many, for lack of a better term, sleazy sales tactics. It's kind of, I've used this reference so many times, but Danny DeVito in Matilda, that is the first thing that I think of when it comes to sleazy salespeople, is that. The anti-MLM movement has been around for way longer than a lot of us content creators that started here on YouTube, for example, or even on other types of social media, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc., the whole shebang. But in my opinion, I think the reason why so many people have started to speak out is because I think that before that, people were afraid to speak out. There was one person by the name of Ethan Vanderbilt, and he was actually one of the first people that I saw too, along with Genetically Modified Skeptic and Savannah Marie. He was another person that I did find when I was looking up information for. It was New Skin. That was actually the first video that I watched of his. He has since deleted his videos. I believe he also deleted his channel. And from what I was told, I believe it had to do with the fact that a lot of companies were coming after him. Cease and desist and legal threats are pretty commonplace within the anti-MLM movement at this point. I've gotten threatened. I know of many other people who have gotten threatened. So I do believe that part of the reason why more people are speaking out now is because they're less afraid. It's less, I guess you could just say, it's less scary than it was before. Because when I made my first video, I was very careful on the information I gave out. I was very careful because I was worried of a company coming after me. Because would they come after me because of the fact that I was talking about my testimonial and my experience? I'm not gonna lie, I was really afraid that first video that I made. I was also afraid of the hate that I was gonna possibly get from it, because that's another thing. The internet is filled with hateful comments, trolls, people who just want to upset you. And this isn't just for this type of content that people like myself create. It's literally for every single type of content out there. Now that that was a very long-winded response, let's keep going.
That you have a lot of success happening, and it's being shown to people that aren't vibrationally aligned with success, or aren't vibrationally aligned with, you know, some average ordinary person making money. It's going to increase that the fight against that. One thing that I saw that really...
Why? Okay, so pretty much he's saying that increased success will also increase the fight against that. It's not increased success though when it comes to multi-level marketing, because the numbers are abysmal. If you look at any type of income disclosure statement, if you look at the different studies that are out there regarding MLMs, whether it be specific MLMs or just the industry in general, the numbers are pretty abysmal when it comes to how many people actually have this increased success that Ray is talking about in this particular video. I know that at this point I sound like a broken record when I talk about the FTC, the studies, the income disclosure statements. I know that, but I just wanted to mention that real quick. But anyway, let's get back to it.
It kind of blew me away, but it also made sense. Was I saw a video, Jimmy Fallon and Bryan Cranston, and it was a short, goofy video about hats, right? And so they're trying on, you know, little hat, short hat, big hat, you know, all the hats. It was cute. It wasn't overwhelmingly awesome, but you know, it was funny. It was all right, whatever. And I just happened to see the comments, and I'm like, oh my God. Like there were thousands of "die, you guys suck, this is the worst," right? Like it was so negative. I'm like, oh my God. And so one, I think first of all, a lot of society is more negative than it used to be. period. No.
I'm going to stop it there. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to stop it so that, because this is a YouTube video and yeah, I don't want it to get claimed or anything like that. So I'm trying to kind of make it as transformative as I possibly can. First of all, Ray, if you're watching this, I know that he used this example of the goofy video that Jimmy Fallon did about hats and the hate comments that were on that video. This type of hate, those type of hate comments have been around on the internet since as long as I can remember. Really, I've seen the trolling comments. That's one reason why I didn't really want to start YouTube. When I started my channel, it was a long time ago that I uploaded my first video. The reason why I didn't want to start is because I was afraid of all of those types of hate comments, and I wasn't creating anti-MLM content when I first started. I took, what was it, like 2 years off or something, and then I was just going to make one video about my MLM experience, and I was just going to leave it at that. Then it turned into what it is today, and I just started educating more, and because I just became so passionate the more and more that I researched about the MLM industry and just the tactics that are used. So I just want to educate people. But going back to the hate comments, Ray, do I need to show you some of the hate comments that I've gotten on my anti-MLM videos from people within your industry? I've gotten constructive criticism from people within the anti-MLM movement and who are pro what I'm talking about. I've definitely gotten constructive criticism from those people, and I welcome constructive criticism. I welcome opposing opinions and having a civil discussion. However, some of the people from your industry, Ray, are not willing to have that kind of conversation. What they do instead is they come onto channels like mine or other anti-MLM creators, no matter what size they are. It really doesn't matter if you have 100, not even. It doesn't matter if you have 10 subscribers or if you have 100,000 or more subscribers. You're still going to get these hate comments as soon as an MLM rep comes across the video. But I will say that the hate that he's talking about, yeah, I've gotten hate comments like that too. I've gotten so many hate comments. So I recently just went through some of my hate comments because I was thinking of maybe making a video and kind of reacting to those comments, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So if I remember as I'm talking about this, I'll kind of pop some of them up on the screen to use as an example. In addition to that, I have seen those types of hate comments be left on other platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and the list goes on. Twitter, that's another one that I've seen. So it's not just on YouTube. It's if you talk about being anti-MLM, if you talk about not liking MLMs, you are bound to have at least someone be upset about your, I guess you could say, your position with being anti-MLM. Ray said that he has seen that society has been a lot more negative, and I can kind of agree with that. The reason being is because we, as I already said in the beginning of this video, we have experienced something that none of us probably thought we would experience in our lifetimes, or really ever. So I think that with what has happened within the past few years, a lot of people may feel defeated because they have lost loved ones. Some people have been in the hospital and have long-lasting effects. Some people lost their jobs. Some people even lost their businesses. The amount of businesses that I saw close in our town alone was heartbreaking. It was every single time that I left the house, there was another business that shut down. It's heartbreaking to me, and it's so sad because some of these people put all of their passion and effort and time and money into something that, because of something that we didn't expect to happen, happened, and they had to close, unfortunately. These businesses, these jobs, they were people's livelihoods. As I already mentioned, people lost loved ones. So I think that it's not necessarily that it's just society as a whole is more negative in the way that I think he's trying to say. I think it's just a lot of people are defeated. And I really truly think that that's what it is. A lot of people feel defeated and it's just one thing after another and they can't catch a break. So that's my kind of thought process on it. But I think that what Ray was referring to is people who are against multi-level marketing or network marketing, whatever they want to call it, because he keeps referring to it as network marketing. Network marketing, MLM, whatever you want to call it. But I do think that that's probably what he's talking about, is the negativity that comes from people like myself, the hate that comes from people like myself. And I'm putting that in quotes because it's not that. That's being just so dramatic with what I'm doing here, because I don't hate these MLM reps. I don't like the MLM structure. I don't like the MLM business model. The people who are the CEOs, the founders, the people who are knowingly scamming people and know that these people are not going to make money because it's not set up for everybody to win, as some of these MLM reps like to say. But actual trolling, actual people who literally just sit behind a computer and just want to feel better about themselves, so they just make fun of everybody else. It doesn't have to be an MLM rep that comments on a video. It could just be someone who just decided that they're going to go on different videos today and just say whatever they want to say. Those types of people, I do think that they're doing it because they can be anonymous. They're sitting behind a computer screen. They could type whatever they want and there's no consequences. Would they actually say that to somebody's face? Most likely not. The things that I say here, I would definitely say to someone in person, because this is something I'm passionate about. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. Now that I went off on quite the tangent, let's keep going.
Period. Number 2, success and hate seems to be getting more reach, period, right? So there's just more, right? You have people going viral on TikTok with hatred message as well as, success messages. And so both parties are witnessing or being a part of these different things. It's really wild. You now have more and more people at least hearing the idea of an average ordinary person can come into network marketing and make money. And for those that don't vibe with that, they actually don't like the idea of someone, that isn't a professor or isn't a celebrity or isn't a whatever, being able to make money, more money than them, kind of grates against them, right? And so let me give you some how to deal with it.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I know that I just already paused it before, but all right. So I have this quote and I think I have it down like 100%. Maybe it's like 99.9% that I might have like taken one word and just forgotten it or something like that. But Ray said along the lines of, you now have more and more people at least hearing the idea of an average ordinary person who can come into network marketing and make money. And for those who don't vibe with that, they actually don't like the idea of someone, who isn't a professor or isn't a celebrity or isn't a whatever, being able to make money or make more money than them. And that kind of grates against them. What? Ray. Oh my gosh. Raymond. Can I call you Raymond? What are you talking about? I genuinely would like to see proof of that statement, of people being upset that other people are making money or that they're making more money. I would love to see proof of that, because if someone is making more money than myself, I'll just use myself as an example. If someone is making more money than I am ethically and they're not hurting anybody, I have no problem with that. However, MLM is at its core unethical. So, or at least in my opinion. But I honestly, if I had friends or family members who had their own businesses or who maybe even just got a promotion at their job, I would be cheering them on. I would be so excited for them, even if they were making more money than me. But I never talk about money in that aspect anyway, so I wouldn't even know, because I don't feel right asking my friends like, hey, how much do you make at your job? job because I would just feel really just awkward about that. When it comes to MLM reps, it's a little different. And the reason why is because if you're presenting this opportunity as it's so great, you're going to have financial freedom, show me proof of that. How much are you making that you have financial freedom? Because financial freedom to you might look differently than financial freedom to me. Because, for example, the person who's presenting this to me might not have to worry about health insurance. Maybe they have it through, if they have a spouse, maybe they have it through their spouse. Maybe they don't have to worry about student loans. So they already have a different, what's the proper way to say it? They're already in a different financial position than I am. So financial freedom to them is going to look different than it will for me. So that's something. That's why if someone's putting this pretty pink bow on it and making it seem like it's the best thing in the entire world, it's going to change your life. I used to live out of my car and now I'm this multi-millionaire. I'm thinking of the one deep dive that I did, what was it, last year, about Danny Johnson, how she was living out of her car and then all of a sudden it's, all these things happen for her. But yeah, so it's a little different for MLM reps or people who are trying to get you into this biz. Whereas with like a 9-to-5, for example, and I'm not saying that the 9-to-5 model is perfect, but with a 9-to-5, if you're being brought in for an interview, they tell you this is what you will be making if you work for us. If you're going to get benefits, these are the benefits that you're going to be getting. So it's a little different when it comes to that. Anyway, I'm so sorry I keep going off on tangents. Let's get back into it. If it could recognize my face, that'd be great. Okay, let's go.
To deal with it. So if you have friends and family members and they're, hating on you or they're rejecting you or whatever, don't try to convince them. Stop trying to turn them around, right? Stop trying to show them examples. Stop trying to dance for someone who will never applaud you. And so if you have a friend or family member and they're like, oh, that network marketing is terrible, it sucks or whatever, say, cool, hey, thanks for your opinion. I appreciate it. Move along. And I'm not saying that you have to ostracize them. I'm not saying that you have to unfriend them or whatever. Just don't try to convince them. Stop spending energy on them. A great example is my wife, actually. So when we were dating, she joined my network marketing team. She was 21 years old. And she started building it on her own. When she first started, she went to her family and they said, that's stupid. Why are you doing this? You have a degree. And they were not fans, to say the least. When she got to $10,000 a month, her two brothers joined, her mom joined, and her dad built her a spreadsheet. And so if you're trying to convince friends and family members that it's great, before you do something and really make a splash, you're making a mistake. Stop doing that. Go make it rain without their support, without their approval, without their agreement. And this includes your spouse, by the way. Even if your spouse is hating on it, go do it, pay off his truck, and then say, there you go, my friend. Right? So you need to be willing to go fight the battle.
At one point, he had this pop up on the screen and it said, don't try to convince the naysayers. I find that kind of funny. The reason being is because I've seen or heard others say, do not engage or do not try to force someone out of an MLM. I've also said that before. You can definitely express your opinion. However, yelling at someone or calling them names, making fun of them, whatever it is, that's really not going to get anywhere, in my opinion, because I'm willing to have and this is just coming from myself, I'm willing to have a discussion with pro MLM people, with MLM reps. I mean, for crying out loud, I interviewed the CEO of Tory Bell several months ago, and it was a really great conversation. It wasn't us yelling. We were very civil. We allowed each other to talk. So I do think that there is room to have conversations. But the problem is that when MLM reps come to my channel, for example, and if they just start right off the bat with ad hominem attacks, that's it. Your argument is already, in my eyes, invalid, because instead of coming to me and talking about, even if it's just your opinion about the industry or if you do have facts to back up what you're saying, that's great. I would love for someone to prove me wrong. And I've said that before. I really would love for someone to prove me wrong. And I'm genuinely saying that because it would be great to actually see, instead of them just yelling that this is the best opportunity, it's the best industry. Well, but why? What studies do you have? What statistics do you have? So that's just something that I wanted to mention. But yelling at someone, calling them names is really not going to get anywhere. And that's when an MLM rep comes at me with that, that's when I shut down. If they tell me that I'm dumb or that I don't know what I'm talking about, or that this video is BS, or I make more money than you in 8 hours and you'll do in like a year, or I got a comment like that a while back, or it was someone that said that they were still in a group and the MLM rep said that I reacted to. So those types of comments are going to automatically just invalidate your argument. And the same goes for someone who is like myself, who is anti-MLM. Going and finding these MLM reps, yelling at them, calling them nasty names, anything like that, yeah, that's going to invalidate my argument as well. So, but again, I'm willing to have a civil discussion. A lot of these MLM reps that come on my videos are not. One thing that I did like that Ray said is when he said not to ostracize loved ones, because who aren't like about the MLM industry. And the reason why I like that is because oftentimes we see quite the opposite come from MLM reps. I was even, from my own experience, I was told that if people didn't support you or whatever the case was, they were considered negative and toxic. So yeah, but in just a few sentences after that, he goes on to say that do multi-level marketing without your friends or family's support, even if it's your spouse. That is something that I do not agree with. And this can be different for everybody because everyone's relationship is different. Everyone's marriage, relationship, whatever is completely different. For myself and my husband though, if he expresses his opinion and then says, but I'll support you either way. This is just what I think about it. But if you want to do it, do it. Great. But if my husband was to not be supportive and then say, hey, we don't have the money for this right now. We don't have money for a starter kit right now. We don't have the money. I'm sorry, but maybe in the future, that's different. I wouldn't go behind his back because in my opinion, this is in a sense going behind your spouse's back. Again, in my opinion. In my second MLM, because in the first MLM that I was a part of, my now husband and I, we weren't dating at the time. The second one we were though. And he was supportive of my decision to join the MLM. He didn't really like the idea, but he was supportive. He said, you know what, if this is something that you think you'll enjoy, if this is something that you think you can make work, go for it. And I did. There are days where I wish that he wasn't supportive so that I wouldn't have joined it because I wouldn't have lost all of the time, effort, energy, and money that I did. I didn't even break even. But at the same time, I am happy that he was supportive because I wouldn't be here talking about MLMs. I mean, maybe I would talk about how I don't like them and I don't like the business structure because I really never liked MLMs. I only tried them because I was pitched a certain way and I thought, you know what? Maybe it isn't all that bad. Maybe it isn't what I thought it was, but no. Very wrong. However, if it wasn't for my husband being supportive and me joining, I wouldn't have had the experience that I had. So now I'm able to speak out and educate people. But anyway, I think that is enough. Let's get back to it.
Fight the battle without their support. Fight the battle without their understanding. That's how you handle if they're friends and family members. Now, a more insidious and kind of gross version of the network marketing haters is the online trolls, and they literally are going out of their way to harm you. I do believe, because I believe that in war there's both sides believe they're fighting the good fight, right? I have to think that some of them do think they're doing good. They think that they're preventing whatever, the mom and pop from spending a couple $100 on a product or whatever. Like they literally think that they're saving people, right? They're not giving them any solutions, but they're saving them from spending money and their hard-earned money going away. Regardless of
when he talks about fighting a battle without support and understanding of your loved ones, dude, this is multi-level marketing. Stop trying to make it seem like you're going out there and you're fighting a war, you're fighting the battle of a multi-level marketing versus people like me. It's not that deep. I may be nitpicking here, but it's really not that deep. Then he says that people like myself in the anti-MLM movement are trolls, and we are going out of our way to harm MLM reps. Raymond, Ray, please show me proof of this. Please, for the love of all that is holy, please show me proof of this. Because from my own personal experience, I know that I've said that many times in this video, but from my own personal experience, I do not seek out MLM reps. I do not drop in their inboxes and say, hey hun, or hey girl, you're in an MLM and I think MLMs are really terrible. So, and here's X, Y, and Z why I think they're so terrible. No, the people that are going out of their way and annoying me, but the people who are actually doing that are MLM reps. Still, as a very loud, I would say I'm pretty loud. I mean, my demeanor is kind of quiet, but I have a lot of content regarding anti-MLM and being anti-MLM and the movement in general. I have participated in a conference. So I think I have a little bit of a voice here, but they're the ones that contact me who don't take 1 second to look at my profile or to look at even my link tree, because my link tree has my YouTube channel linked. They don't take the time to actually look at who they're talking to. They're the ones that are in my inbox. And this was so frustrating because back when I was very early on in my pregnancy, I didn't announce it for a bit, but this was before I announced it. I was targeted for my hair loss. My doctor told me that it's not common to lose your hair while you're pregnant. It's obviously more common postpartum, but it's not as common to lose it during pregnancy, but she said it's not impossible. It's something that can happen. So I did. I lost a lot. I lost a lot. My hair was in really bad shape in the beginning of the pregnancy. And I posted about it. And I was really vulnerable in my post because I thought, you know what, maybe someone else is going through this and maybe they can feel a little less alone. So they know that, you know what, there's other people out here who are also going through this. Well, after that, I was targeted by a Monate, whatever they're called. I was targeted by one of their reps. And the difference with her is she flat out said, I made an entire video about this. She flat out said, I was looking at the hair loss community hashtag. I don't even think that I said hair loss community. I don't even remember. But she said that she was looking through the hashtag. So you were clearly targeting people. And then she started making claims about what the products can do for my hair loss and all of this other stuff. So there's that situation. Then, several months ago now, I shared my postpartum journey and I talked very openly about my postpartum anxiety and just stuff like that. I had a few Beachbody reps. I'm pretty sure they were Beachbody just by the way that they were posting and just by what they had on their link tree. It just seemed a little like Beachbody. So Beachbody reps contacted me about my baby weight, my postpartum journey, and all of that kind of stuff. So who's who's really going out of their way here? Oh, and another thing, I actually never talked about this because I just remembered. One of my acquaintances that I knew from college has been an MLM hopper for many years. She is currently in, I believe, Melaleuca. It sounds like Melaleuca, the posts and stuff that she makes. Well, when my daughter was born, not only did she say congratulations, as soon as I saw her name, I knew that there was some kind of a pitch or there was some kind of ulterior motive coming. Now, mind you, this is when my baby is a newborn. I'm exhausted. I'm not sleeping. Nobody's sleeping. I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's already hectic as it is. And she, just out of nowhere, hey girl, I know that you just had a little baby, and I think this is the best time for you to think about non-toxic products in your household, blah, 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 and went off on this whole thing. I never responded because I was just so tired and so aggravated at that point that instead of just saying, hey, congratulations on your baby, you have to make it into a pitch. Like, what? Ray said something along the lines of how he believes that some of us here in the anti-MLM movement or that create this type of content are genuinely thinking that we're doing some kind of good and that we're preventing the mom and pop from spending a couple $100. Sir, your MLM is not a mom and pop. That is quite insulting to someone like myself who, yes, my family, we are a mom and pop. So that is very insulting. We are not the same. Anyway, let's just get back to the video.
Regardless of how many testimonials, of how many thousands and thousands of people have changed their life through network marketing, I really do believe some of them believe that they're doing a service. They believe they're doing good. They believe that they're saving the single mom's wages from being blown at your event. And this is where you need to understand that there is no magic or mysticism around network marketing, all right? It comes down to pipeline. It comes down to...
Really quick, there was something that I'm just looking at my notes right now. There's something that I completely forgot to say before, but when he said that he thinks that some of us are thinking that we're saving people, but that we're not providing solutions. Have you listened to anything that the anti-MLM movement has said over the past several years? I have made a video about other different types of side hustles and other types of jobs that you can have besides an MLM if you are looking for an additional income. I believe Deanna Mims also made a video about that. I can't remember 100%. And I have seen other people talking about it. So, Ray, have you actually listened to a word that we have said in this movement? But anyway, okay, let's just keep going.
You know, who makes money in real estate? The people that talk to people. Right? Who makes money in network marketing? The people that talk to people. If someone is joining a network marketing company and they're told that they don't have to get customers, that they don't have to talk to people, that, you know, if they're being told that, then that person is doing a great disservice, right? Me, I tell them it's hard. You know, this is hard work. You have to talk to people. You're going to get rejected. You're going to have people make fun of you, right? This isn't like, you know, when someone starts a job, no one's really making fun of them for that job. You join network marketing, you're probably going to have some people make fun of you because they just don't know. And one of the reasons that people have that kind of propensity toward network marketing is that it's such a low barrier of entry to start a business. You know, if you had to pay $150,000, like some people pay for a restaurant, to start a network marketing business, all the people that are not as strong-willed or disciplined, they just wouldn't do it. They would never be exposed to it. They'd be like, oh, I can't do that, right? Because it's so low barrier to entry, because you don't need a college degree, you don't need a certificate, you don't need a ton of money, you need a couple $100 usually. Because it's so low barrier to entry, and because there's no requirement of training, you have a lot of untrained people, you know, pitching and hyping to people that, you know, resonate with it and want to do something that's going to be nice and easy. I would rather say it's hard. But how you deal with the online trolls, and these people will go out of your way. I mean, there's a group right now that is like, you know, sending letters, they're flagging videos, like they're lying. They're creating, you know, lying videos about others, and It's really nasty. How you handle them, also don't try to convince them. I would not engage with them. And because of the way these groups of people tend to operate, if you're in network marketing and you start getting a bunch of anti-MLM hate, I used to say, hey, bring on the hate, let them comment, let them do this stuff. But they play so low below the belt. I mean, they'll flag your videos for nudity. They'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. I would just block them.
Okay, I mean, let's start off with the first thing that I appreciated that he said. And that was that he tells people that multi-level marketing is hard and that it's not easy. So I do think that that's great if he's actually doing that. I really, truly do, because I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that these MLM reps are making it seem as though this is so easy. All you do is you just work from your phone and that's it. But that's not it. There's way more to that. But we also have to acknowledge the fact that just because you work hard, you can work harder than your upline and still not make it. I worked my ass off and I didn't even break even. So I actually lost money and time. So then he said something about how anti-MLM people are sending letters, flagging videos, and how we're lying. That in itself is not telling the whole truth, Raymond. So let's break that down real quick. If we go back to the examples that I used just a few minutes ago about what I was targeted for. So the Monet, whatever, rep that I talked about who was making claims and who targeted me for my hair loss, did I report her? Yes. I reported her to Monet Compliance at the FTC and the Florida State Attorney General. The reason why is because she was making claims that she is not allowed to make. So that's what I did with that. That was warranted because she was spreading misinformation and she was saying things that she was not allowed to say. Then if we look at the other two examples that I used, the Beachbody reps that are in my DMs, or even the person that I talked about that I knew from college who's talking about all non-toxic products, I didn't report them. I didn't flag them. I didn't do anything like that because they technically didn't do anything wrong. What they did was gross and unethical in my opinion, but they legally did not do anything wrong. So I'm not going to flag them for literally just coming into my DMs and just trying to tell me about an opportunity or being gross with their marketing tactics. However, if someone's making claims, yeah, report them. If someone is making, especially medical claims and income claims, yeah, those need to be reported because they are not allowed to say those things. Also, Ray, I haven't lied on this channel, and that is quite the accusation to say that we're lying in the anti-MLM movement. Maybe some people are. I can't speak for everybody. But if I'm providing my opinion on something, that's not lying. If I'm just saying, hey, in my opinion, I think this is unethical, that's not lying. So that's quite the accusation, right? Quite the accusation. And I think that you should probably elaborate a little bit more in this video that you have out there. But then he says to block the haters, which I find kind of funny because doesn't this kind of sound a little bit like information control? Because he's not talking about actual haters. He's not talking about actual people who are being toxic, who are just attacking these MLM reps. No, he's talking about people who are trying to educate. So yeah, that sounds a little bit like information control. But let's try to get through these last few minutes because I've been recording for a really long time. So I'm not even going to go over any of the shorts or the reels that I was going to react to. I'm just going to do this video because clearly I didn't realize how much I had to say.
Block them. I would just block them. And so that's some suggestions on how to handle some of the hatred that you may be getting. And know this, if you're not playing big, you ain't getting any hatred. And so the bigger you play, the more you show up, the more videos you do, the more people you talk to, you're going to run into this kind of thing. So if you're running into this kind of thing, congratulations, you're on the path. If you're not running into this kind of thing, then you're probably keeping it a little bit too secret. So I'd love to hear from you. Do you agree with my statements, or do you think I'm totally wrong? Am I off base here? Love to hear from you. Drop me a comment in the comment section. I read and respond to every comment. So lastly, what should you focus on instead? It's really simple. Focus on what you want. So something that I do anytime I get sucked into negative land, right? And know that, why are there haters of anything, right? Why are there trolls of anything? Why are there, bullies, right? Because they're literally online bullies, right? Why are they bullies? At the end of the day, it's because they feel a certain way about themselves, which isn't good, and they want others to feel as bad as they do about themselves. That's what it boils down to. It really does. And so know that hurting people hurt. People that have been through bad stuff and they haven't worked through it, it's much easier for them to try and make other people feel bad too, right? And so a big part of me has, sympathy, and I wish for peace. I wish for peace amongst these people that spend their days just online, attacking, right? I wish them peace. I wish them love. I hope they find some.
Okay, so I have to stop it because I have notes here. But he asks, why are there bullies? Because they're literally bullies. And he follows it with, at the end of the day, it's because they feel a certain way about themselves, which isn't good. And they want others to feel as bad as they do about themselves. He also used the typical MLM rhetoric that we hear all the time, that hurting people hurt people. My dude, you do realize that there are people that you call haters within this anti-MLM movement who have never been a part of an MLM. So how are they hurting from their experience? They're just speaking out because this is something that a lot of people say, that you don't have to do substances to know that they're bad. So there's that. And I can't speak for everyone who has been in an MLM and does talk about their experience. I've already worked on myself. I don't care about that whole entire situation. It's not traumatic to me or anything like that, at least not really anymore. It was toxic for me in the beginning when I first left, but I mean, it's been so many years at this point that whatever feelings I had, I've worked through them. At this point, I'm just using my experience to educate people. Wouldn't you think that if we were just haters or just online trolls, that if we were to get legal threats or if we were to get cease and desist, that we would just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm just going to move on to the next thing. Do you have any idea how many people have gotten cease and desist or legal threats, myself included? So how is it that we're just, haters and we're not actually here trying to make a difference? And if you look at my channel, I speak out about more than just MLM companies. That is a lot of what I talk about, but I have covered companies such as Lisa Frank. I talked about the child actor industry, like the dark side of it, Hollywood, Teddy Mellencamp's All In by Teddy program. I talked about Brittany Dawn, The Secret, which in my opinion is a bunch of bullshit, but Lululemon. And then in Monday's video that I posted, I talked about the unethical things that happened with The Wizard of Oz that happened on set. So how does that make me a hater of all of those things as well? No, I'm just educating people and I'm just providing my commentary. Honestly, I loved, if we want to talk about the other companies I just talked about, I loved Lisa Frank as a kid. I really, truly did. I loved The Wizard of Oz. And after finding out everything that I found out, it doesn't ruin my childhood, but it kind of makes me look at it in a different perspective. I also talked about the Olsen twins in one of my videos and what happened to them. But it's one of those things, like, I'm still going to speak out about these types of unethical business practices and businesses in general. Because if someone is acting unethically, or if something, in my opinion, is dangerous, then yeah, I'm going to want to talk about it. When Ray says that he wishes for peace from, I guess, anti-Mlmers, I'm assuming he's talking about. Well, going back to the hate comments that I've gotten, you might want to talk to the people on your side as well, because as I already said, I interviewed the CEO of Tory Bell, and we had a very, very civil discussion. It was a really great discussion. There was no yelling. There was no saying that one person looked a certain way. There was none of that. There was nothing hateful. We were just having a civil discussion. That's all that it was. But yeah, let's try to finish off this video. I'm gonna see, I have a few notes left, so I'm gonna see if I could just try to play it all the way through to the end.
Something they're passionate about, like a charity or a cause, or whatever, right? Something they're passionate about, because that's what the human race is here for, is to pursue our passions. And our passions will find us making an impact, feeling more significant, making a difference, loving our life. And so what to focus on instead is to focus on what you actually want. So one thing I do when I find myself going into negative land is, one, I express. So I express, okay, what am I being negative about? What is affecting me? What am I thinking, or how am I feeling that I don't want to think or feel anymore? And so I express it. I don't suppress it, right? That's what causes disease, is you suppressing all this stuff and bottling it all up, and serenity now, right? And so instead I express it. Here are the things I don't like that I'm thinking and feeling. Here are the things. And then I say, okay, what is it I do want to think and feel? What is it? What kind of mental rehearsal can I do about crafting my perfect life, about crafting what I actually want, of seeing my life in a stage that it's not yet there, but see it as if it already is. And the number one skill that you can develop is to see things as you want them to be before they are. You see, most people, they say things like, well, if I hit that rank, then I'll feel better. If I do, if something outside of me happens, then I'll feel inside better. And that's not how it works. Like the great Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your personality is creating your personal reality. And so the way that you think, act, and feel is literally having you have an experience with your reality about what is going on around you. So if we want to change what's out there, we have to change what's in here. And so shifting your focus away from those thoughts of stress and negativity and why are they attacking me and how come they're haters and all this stuff, to what is it I actually want? I want to make a difference. I want to help put clothes on the homeless. I want to help feed the hungry. I want to help bring clean drinking water. I want to help kids in foster care. Thinking about what is the life you actually want to have, and spending more time with memories of your future than noticing what's going on in your present. Now, if you need some help, we have a great accountability and coaching program that I'll put down below. It's called Inner Circle. And if you want someone that you can actually hop on the phone with and talk to personally and get your help that you need based on where you're at, then feel free to fill out the information in the form below. I'll put a link down in the description. Answer the questions. One of our teammates will reach out to you and we'll see if it's a fit for you, and we'd love to help you.
Of course, he finishes off with, hey, we have a course. So you talked about all of this stuff, and now, hey, if you need more help, you can pay me more money. But yeah, so there's two things that I had notes on. The one thing is when Ray said that he hopes that we find something that we are passionate about, for example, a charity. First of all, I am very passionate about educating people and bringing awareness to multi-level marketing and just being an advocate for the consumer. That is something that I am passionate about, which is why I've also talked about other unethical things that have happened in other unethical businesses, because it doesn't just stop at multi-level marketing. There's a lot of issues in a lot of different industries. However, the topic at hand in this particular video is multi-level marketing. So that's why I'm focusing on that in this video. So there's that. I'm very passionate about speaking out against the multi-level marketing industry, network marketing, whatever you want to call it. And Another thing is when he talks about, oh, why don't you guys have some kind of passion with a charity? Ray, how do you know if we're donating or volunteering or not? You don't know that, because some of us, I can't speak for everybody, but some of us donate and volunteer and do stuff like that without posting it on social media. Some of us do it anonymously. And the reason why some people do it anonymously is because, unlike these MLM companies and some of these MLM reps that have to constantly put it on blast that, oh, we're helping people, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're volunteering our time. Or how about the MLM reps who say, oh, if you purchase from me, X amount of proceeds will go to this charity or this thing that we're doing. Why don't you just have people donate directly to it? Why does it have to go through you first? Why do you have to make some kind of commission off of it? Why don't you just tell them to go donate? So, right, just because we don't talk about it on social media or don't broadcast it, doesn't mean that we're not doing it, and it doesn't mean that we're not passionate about it. So that's something that I wanted to say, because there are people who do donate anonymously, who do volunteer and don't post about it because they don't want to. Just because you don't post about it, just because you don't talk about it, doesn't mean that you don't do it. And that's just something that I wanted to mention, because the MLM companies, they always put it on blast. I mean, most of the deep dives I've done into MLM companies, they all talk about some charity that they're doing or whatever it is that they're doing. In my opinion, I think a lot of the charities that these people are trying to virtue signal with is just a bunch of tax write-offs. But I'm not stating that as fact or anything like that. That's just my opinion. It's, again, not stating that as fact, and I'm not accusing anybody of any type of fraud or anything like that. It's just my opinion alone. The final thing that I wanted to go over is Ray had it pop up on the screen where it says, see things as you want them to be before they are. This is just a bunch of law of attraction and manifestation type of things. It reminds me a lot of the deep dive that I did into The Secret. If you don't know what that is, I will try to remember to leave that video link below. It's pretty intense and just, yeah, pretty intense. But I think that a lot of what he's talking about is just toxic positivity and just putting on blinders. And there's nothing wrong with trying to see the positive in things. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't give yourself a chance to cry or a chance to sit back and think, you know what, this freaking sucks, man. Like, this sucks. If you don't give yourself that kind of release and you're just being positive and just be positive, it's toxic positivity. And it just, I don't know why, but it just reminds me of like Stepford Wives. That's just what it reminds me of. And it's just a bunch of nonsense, in my opinion. And I know that some people who are anti-MLM do agree with manifestation and do agree with the law of attraction. To each their own. But I think that there's a difference between putting a goal up on, let's say, even a vision board. Let's say that you have some kind of a goal that you want to achieve. There's a difference between having a goal and wanting to achieve it and trying to do everything that you possibly can to achieve it, as opposed to something as intense as like The Secret, where in their eyes that if you get into an accident or if something bad happens to you, it's because you manifested it. No, it's no. There's a huge difference. So I do think that you can think positively and you can think, you know what, I'm going to get through this. Yeah, this sucks right now, but I'm going to get through it. There's a difference between that kind of mentality and just like Stepford Wives, like everything is great. So yeah, I kind of went off on tangents. This video is going to be so long and I'm so sorry, because I really wanted to add the cringy, just downright cringy reels and YouTube shorts that Ray has uploaded. I mean, let me just say that I finally feel seen because of the color of my hair and how he has the ridiculous wig that is an absolute abomination to wigs. You can find costume wigs that are just don't look like hot garbage. Anyway, yeah, so you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I guess I will see you guys next time. Make sure to stick around because I think in the next video, I'm going to react to the other reels and shorts and stuff by Ray because they're just all the cringe. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye.